It's my second morning painting in Sion in Switzerland. I'm very not comfortable with this mountain subject. It's actually harder than I thought it would be. The reason is you need to get used to a subject, no matter what the subject is. It can be an apple, a pear, banana, a cityscape. You're still gonna need to get used to your subject. Au secours. Bon, don't need a more precise sketch than that. So a big part of painting from life, almost all of it actually, it's really learning how to see before even to learn how to paint. Because basically I was thinking of that because I was looking at the mountain while having a little break after the sketch. And I just realized the more I look at it and the more I see things, the more I see detail. Bonjour, monsieur.
De loin, j'ai cru que vous étiez avec un portable.
Merci, pareillement, monsieur. So I was saying a big part of painting is learning how to see. And basically what it means is that the more you paint, it goes together, right? You need to paint, to fail, to see that something is going wrong. And oh la la. And understanding why it's going wrong, basically. Allez, go away, please. And a big part at the beginning of what's going wrong, it's because you are not capable. And this is normal, huh? You don't have to be afraid of that. Everybody that starts to paint from life has the same problem, same issue. Is learning how to see properly. And basically our brain is tricking us. Our brain, our eyes and the brain are adapting themselves to see for life, not to paint, to see, to stay alive, basically. Our brain and our eyes are trained to see danger, to analyze the scene, and to make that basically as a human being we stay alive. So that's basically what the eyes and the brain does. It might sound abstract, but this is what doesn't help when you try to paint. Because when you try to paint, you need to see correctly the different element of your subject, what you are painting. Basically, you need to see it correctly to translate that into a two-dimensional surface. So this is very important to understand. I know if you are not used to, it might sound very, very abstract what I'm saying, but you will see. I keep developing subject on my channel. It's almost impossible to do one video to answer all the questions or to find the exact word to translate these abstract ideas into helping other people painting. And I don't think, I read a lot of books and stuff, and even in the books, made by master, it's because it's not that easy. It's not just a book that gives you all the answers. And actually, some books can mislead you a lot. And of course, these books are written by masters. So you're like, okay, well, these books are, are exactly what I need. And of course, these books helps. But unfortunately, it's not just reading and applying the book that make you a good painter. It's understanding principle and applying them correctly that make you, I think, a good painter. Because, often the books, they give you rules, they give you those things. You learn that once what you've learned in the book is very important, it's very useful. But once you paint from life, you quickly see that you need to adapt all these rules to a real situation. Because, for example, the perspective you learn at school, with the rule you learn at school when you paint a cityscape. When you go in New York or whatever the city, and you paint a cityscape, it's almost impossible to just apply the rule that it's not almost impossible. It is impossible to just apply the rule that you learn at school and that your image is gonna stand together correctly and give you the right impression of what you see translated into a two-dimensional surface. Well, this doesn't work like that. I personally had to learn all these rules to understand them in my studio, then go outside, see that it doesn't work, and do my best to make it happen. Then what I think is very important is to take some workshops, because everybody needs different information. You are in a level of your learning process and you know more or less what you need to go further. So then you take a workshop and you basically adjust that. That's what you do. And you ask the right question, the question you need, to the person. Coming back, painting what you see. I don't like to use these big brushes, but it's not that I don't like because of the size. I just They are old and not nice brushes. So as part of learning how to see, this is also why it's nice to paint different subjects, even subjects you are not used to, like I do right now. Because that really train your eyes to see the values correctly. Because that's what we do when we are painting from life. Basically, that's what we do. We react to certain conditions. So here I have in front of me like a main subject that is the foreground mountain, but then I have another one and then I have another one way in the back. So all these mountains, they are affected by the aerial perspective. Very hard for me to say, la perspective aérienne. So this, basically, it's the particles, the air particles, the pollution particles, the dust in the air, anything that is between you and the subject. And so all these little particles, they're gonna put a distance between you and the subject. Depending the day, the hour of the day, it's gonna look different. Yeah. So this is the beauty of painting from life, is that you have all these different conditions that you try to capture. Bonjour. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
May I?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
Can you remove the fog?
The what?
The fog, the
No,
cloudy?
but that's what I want.
Okay.
So one of the reasons it's important to paint a lot of different subjects when you start painting is because you never know how you're gonna react to a subject. And for example, I'm saying that because right now I totally lost interest in that subject. I really think, like I'm happy because I tried and it gives me an experience, one more experience in my journey. But landscape is definitely not my thing. I think I just get bored of it. I'm losing interest in the subject. I don't see anything that catch my mind, and I'm like, oh yeah, I really need to capture that. Like I want to capture the whole view, right? It's something I want, but I get very, very bored of the subject. Like when I just walk like that, I think it's magnificent. I keep looking at the mountain. I really like them. And I'm born here, not in that area of Switzerland, but this is my country, right? So there's something particular about it, painting my country. I live abroad, so, I'm super excited to come to paint my country. But even with that excitement, I can lose interest in my subject. And so do you. Like anybody can, it happen to anybody. So it's very important to try different subjects to see how you react, what you like, what you don't like, and then keep pushing what you like. But even when you know what you like exactly, it's nice to tackle different subjects, even if you get a little bored of it. I think it's worth it to keep pushing because you're learning anytime in your career. You can learn new stuff or just improve on what you already know. So I keep pushing that a little bit, but I have such a hard time with the values. So that's the thing as well, is that when it's the first time you paint something, it can be kind of very difficult. And so these difficulties also doesn't help you to at least for me, it doesn't help me to keep pushing. Because when you don't see something coming, sometimes it's kind of really hard to keep going. But usually when you do, you're kind of pretty happy. And right now it's funny because I make that statement right now, just right now when I'm starting to find some interest back in the subject. So I guess often it's like that. You arrive to a stage in your painting where that stage is not really pleasant, and you kind of struggle to know why you start here to paint. So that's pretty common. Usually when you push through these phases, it goes good and you come back home pretty happy. And sometimes, no worries, sometimes it's not worth it. You don't push and you just go home. And that happens as well, and that's okay. You don't need to finish every painting you start. It's not necessary. To be able to recognize when it's a waste of time, it's also good. All right. The thing is that my subject, either this one on the left or either this one in the front. What I don't like about it, and there's nothing I can do, is that they are fully lit and there's no shadows. Like there's barely any shadows. And you see, I just gained back interest when I was applying these shadows. So this is very important as well, like choosing the right subject to paint and the right timing to paint it. This is something you keep learning, because depending the subject, it can be very interesting at some moment of the day and very boring at other moment of the day. So you learn that in photography as well. It's very important to move around your subject and just not to get stuck. It's important to move around, to see what worked, what could work and what doesn't. All this you learn with time. All right. Not too bad. So the subject is pretty pleasant, so I think I'm gonna come back another day, push it a little more. I have another sitting in the afternoon where I can push as well. Bonjour, bonjour, merci. Not too bad. Bonjour.